Oh wow, it's so nice to be in person. I actually don't think I've done an in-person event before because I started Partner in Wine during COVID, just after COVID. So yeah, it's so nice to be in person today. So just following on actually from those stats that you just gave about organising events in person for females in business. So when I first started my first business 8 years ago, I didn't have anything like this. And I'm actually very jealous of you all today because I had to make connections through Instagram at a time when I would say to my mum, oh, I'm going to meet this person who also runs a business. And she was like, why are you going to meet someone you've met online? That's weird. And obviously nowadays it's very, very normal. So with that in mind, one of my favourite things about being a female entrepreneur is and I hope a lot of you can kind of relate to this as well, is the community that it kind of brings together. There's something very, very special about being a woman in business and being able to share those experiences with one another. I don't know whether I've necessarily been able to relate to a man in business. Sorry to all the men in the room. Yeah, I've had some really, really great conversations with women, both offline and online. So I hope that a lot of you here today can connect with other women and also make some connections in real life too. So they have asked me today to give a talk on social media in business, but one of the things that comes up time and time again whenever I speak to clients about social media or just generally whenever I'm talking about it on Instagram is in order to succeed on social media for your business, it's essential that you build a community. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to do that today because I have two businesses. I don't know if anyone's seen Partner in Wine or Sassy Digital. So I'm just going to give you a real lowdown on them all. So sorry if you've heard this before. I do shamelessly promote myself on the internet. So I started Sassy Digital when I was 23 years old. So that was nearly 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago and next year in April. And during that time, I've worked with so many different businesses, mainly female-led businesses on their e-commerce marketing. And I have had a lot of influencer clients and maybe some names that you might have heard of before, which I won't go into detail on because I don't have any time. But then during the first lockdown, just after, I don't know if any of you remember when the pubs were closed, obviously the weather was amazing. And I went to meet my friend for our first socially distanced drink in the park. And I'd had my bottle of wine chilling all day. I was living with my parents at the time. So I was like, so excited to get out of the house and have a drink with anyone that wasn't with my mum and dad. Sorry, mum and dad. And so I got on my bike that I'd bought during COVID and I was cycling through the park and I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. And I was like, when I opened my bottle of wine, I was like, that's it. It's gonna be warm. And I'd taken some plastic cups, I'd taken a corkscrew because I had to undo the cork, and then obviously the bins were overflowing, so then it became a problem of where do I dispose of this correctly, so I was going to have to take it home with me. So, most normal people would just go, oh, well, never mind, like, better luck next time, I'll think of something, I know, strap a few ice blocks to the wine bottle. But I went, after a few glasses of wine, no. I won't do that. I will create my own insulated wine bottle. And so that is exactly what I went on to do. So that is a little bit about who I am. And in terms of building a community for Partner in Wine, I knew that was going to be essential for getting the name of the business out there and growing it. So luckily, I called upon my marketing expertise, and within 7 months, I'd gone viral on TikTok. I'm sure I'll go into the story of the viral TikTok in a moment, but off the back of this viral TikTok and sort of a lot of people getting on board with my business story, I built this community of people from kind of many, many different backgrounds, including journalists, buyers, etc., which allowed me to get stocked in places like Oliver Bonar, Selfridges, etc., and land all these amazing press coverage and also co-branding with TikTok, obviously, because that's the dream when you go viral on TikTok. So just a little brief run up in my career, because I feel like a lot of people feel they're very unqualified to be a business owner. I certainly thought so when I started. I had no idea what I was doing, going around in circles on the HMRC website. So I graduated, I'm hearing laughter because everyone's been there. I did a degree in communication and media at university, which is kind of ironic that for me now, because I don't feel like I did learn a lot about marketing during that course, even though technically that's what it was about. But it was the extracurricular stuff that I was doing at university that was helping me with that. So I learnt to code websites. I worked on the university magazine on the social media there. And I did a lot of work experience on the side of that to kind of help me build up my confidence to eventually get a career in social media. That's what I wanted to do. So you can see a lovely picture in the middle there of me being made redundant from my first job. That was maybe half an hour after the conversation. So I, very sadly, was doing social media for private hospital, a few different other places, and I got made redundant when budgets were kind of cut. So that was a first big lesson in my career. Went off to do something else very briefly before deciding actually working for someone else wasn't for me. And I think probably a lot of you in this room can relate to that, whether you're doing that part-time or full-time and wanting to get there. And then I decided to leave the corporate ladder and start making something for my own within the social media industry. So I don't know if anyone recognises this lovely lady here, that is Madeline Shaw, and she gave me the opportunity to go and work with her when I first left my job on a part-time basis. So I did that for a few days a week and built up my clients on the other days of the week. And that is how I started my business, and it slowly kind of went from doing social media to doing websites, and then eventually led me to starting my own product-based business. So today I'm going to show you how social media can help you build a community of loyal fans for your brand, the power of storytelling, why you need a community, and how to appeal to a wider audience with your content. Now I'm going to keep going back to storytelling in this, and this is key to building a community online. So if there's one thing that you take away from today, it's hopefully going to be how to tell your story online in a compelling way that can help you relate to other people. So, what can building a community on social media do for your business? Now, there's a large list of things here, but I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I have seen happen for me, which I hope will help inspire you to kind of take away from today and build a community of your own. So obviously I was Stockton Selfridges, Liberty. That lovely introduction earlier. I was named one of 100 female entrepreneurs to watch in the Telegraph this week, and I attended a reception at the House of Commons on Monday, which was lovely. And so how did that happen? So the basis of any good marketing strategy is storytelling. And I think we often forget this. I mean, this is like a huge historical thing that goes way back to sort of kind of dinosaur times, when actually the only way that we could get by was, entertaining each other in our spare time and telling stories and, making etchings on the wall and all of that sort of stuff. So storytelling really does kind of come to the core of all marketing, and that is because it helps us to relate to one another, both to our customers and actually to other people that we inspire. So I posted a video online on TikTok telling my story of how I started Partner in Wine. So when I first started, I started in July 2020. I'd, just really relied on friends and family on social media. And then I got to a point by Christmas where I was turning over 5 figures, and I was like, this is amazing, like how I've ever done this, And actually I look back at it, and how I'd done it to date was I had told people that I was launching a business before I'd launched it. And I was telling female business owners how I was doing that on my own personal profile, but I didn't reveal what it was. And so I got a huge amount of followers because people were kind of a bit bored of lockdown, going, what on earth is this girl doing? This is absolutely fascinating. So, more people came, and when I launched, people were very excited because they kind of got to see the end result of that storytelling that I'd done over such a large period of time. The community at the time was fairly small. 7 months later, when I posted this video basically explaining what I'd done from lockdown to then turning over 5 figures by Christmas, I posted at, I think it was either on a Tuesday or Wednesday, 11 a.m. I didn't post on TikTok at the time. And the next day I woke up and my phone the notifications were just off the screen. And I was like, that's really weird. I manage Shopify accounts for other people, so it must be one of my influencer clients who makes, you know, loads and loads of sales. And I was looking at the amount on the screen. I was like, no, that's me. And people had really related to the story so much that they, you know, not only thought it was a good idea, but they really wanted to buy from me. And it's one of those things where the buyer from Selfridges came across me on TikTok and he was a huge fan. You know, so many people that I work with now have already discovered me on TikTok and my story on TikTok, and they say that they've followed me, you know, ever since I posted that, and are really kind of rooting for me. So I think that's like the end goal, is to have people that you don't know rooting for you online, whether that's, you know, liking your posts if they can't afford to buy your products or employ your services. But you can do all of that through storytelling. So I have some videos for you, which I hope I'm going to watch your reaction to this video because I'm hoping it'll make you smile. How do I do this? Oh, thanks.
Here she comes.
I don't know why I love this video so much. It just makes me so happy. Okay, so I think, does everyone know who this is? Yeah. I don't know how to say his last name. Francis Bourgeois? Love it. So the reason that we all love his content is because not only is it educational, but it's also inspiring and entertaining at the same time. And this can be so easily applied to business because... Oh, hang on. How do I go? Oh, thank you. So what do these three things have in common? They make us feel something. So in that video, for example, there was many smiles in the room, a few little laughters, I hope no tears. But with these sorts of things, it doesn't matter whether you're making someone laugh, whether you're making someone smile, whether you're making someone cry, with sadness, with happiness, or I don't know, it's a dog video, because we all love those. So as long as you're making people feel something, that is how you can make people relate to one another. And relating to one another opens us up to a wider audience. So this means things like, for example, with Partner in Wine, a lot of the content that I tend to do is wine related. Now, I am a casual wine drinker. I have actually done a wine course now. So a lot of the content that I post tends to be around wine, whether that's, you know, me looking at a wine label, looking at it because it's in another language and going, well, I don't know what that means, because, you know, all casual wine drinkers might look at it and go, whatever, it's red. I love red, I'll drink it. You know, it doesn't matter what it is on the label. So that kind of helps you relate to one another. And the audience that I get from posting videos like that, I know they are going to be interested in wine, and therefore they are likely to be interested in my products. So feelings, laughter, crying, anger, I think I've actually already said this. So they appeal to our human instincts, and this goes back to storytelling, is feelings appealing to our human instincts are the basis for storytelling. So for example, with Partner in Wine, because I told that story, when people go and tell their family and friends about Partner in Wine, one of the things that I hear people say is, my brother told me about your business, my sister told me about your business and how you started it in lockdown and blah, 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 and it's amazing. And when people buy my products, they will then go and tell their family and friends, mums, dads, whatever. They won't just go, oh, how cool is this insulated wine bottle? They'll go, this was started by this girl in lockdown and I saw her video online and it's just such an inspiring story. And that's what they'll go and tell people. And then those people will go and tell other people, and then those people will go and tell other people. So it's not just an insulated wine bottle. It is a basis for building that community of people who either love wine and want to know a little bit more about it, or they feel inspired by my business story. So in terms of creating content to build a community, obviously I just touched on this, but I'm going to show you this video that I did on Everyone Loves Whispering Angel, except for me. I won't go into the reasons for that, but a lot of the videos I tend to do are about wine, and this video in particular if you want to play it, I'll talk about the stats afterwards. Thank you.
Now that is what I call a Whispering Angel dupe.
Right, TikTok. I've heard a rumour that the Sir de France Rosé from Aldi is a dupe for Whispering Angel. Now, unfortunately, I went to my Aldi this morning and it had sold out, so thank you, TikTok. That's not even the worst part. It's not a dupe for Whispering Angel. But I have found one in Aldi that is. Now, I hate to be a wine splainer, but there's a few reasons why the Sir de France Rosé is not a dupe for Whispering Angel. And firstly, it's the flavour profiles. The Sir de France focus on red berries and citrus flavours, while Whispering Angel has a flavour profile of red berries, melon and pear, which is exactly why the Côte de Provence specially selected from Aldi is a better dupe. Also, guys, come on, it's the shape of the bottle. Aldi is not afraid of duping another brand based on the shape of their products or the branding. This wine is half the price of Whispering Angel and it's actually bloody delicious. It's so smooth, it's the perfect dupe. And if you guys want to keep it cold this bank holiday weekend, then make sure you pop one into your partner in wine bottle.
Product placement. So this is just one of the videos that I've done on wine and educating people around wine, because I actually knew nothing about wine before I started Partner in Wine, other than, you know, I knew I liked it. So posting videos like this can obviously, I mean, you can see the stats here. I just thought, you know, put them on the screen, why not? So I got 364,000 views, and that was probably within maybe a couple of days. And obviously you can see the shares and the saves, which are, to me, the most important metric, because it's, you know, how many people have shared that with their friends, how many people have saved it for later that they're going to come back to. And those really are the metrics that you need to be looking into when you are posting content. So wine is one of the pillars that I use for Partner in Wine, along with these other ones, which are small business, because obviously I have a small business myself, and then also products and services, which obviously you need to talk about in order to sell them. So one thing that I'd really love you all to do, if you haven't done already, is to create your content pillars. So you'd be looking at things like, how can you add extra value to your customers and your audience, thinking about different topics that kind of circle around your business. So that could also include what your personal values are. So for example, small business, I've spent a lot of my career helping small businesses with their marketing. So obviously that's something that I have to talk about, because it's not just something I want to talk about, but it's something I feel passionate about. And that really comes through. So maybe try and think about those things that you are passionate about, because if you start talking about something that maybe you don't feel like you know enough of or enough on, or I don't know, I was going to say you hate small businesses, but you want to talk about them anyway. No one hates small businesses. So yeah, just thinking about things that actually you feel like you can really resonate with, because it means that when you're telling that story, it's going to come across as really authentic. So maybe pick 3, maximum 4 content pillars to talk about within your social media and marketing plan, and use those as the basis for storytelling. So I'm just going to go through the educational, inspiring, and I've forgotten the last one already, but we'll talk about it in a sec. Okay, so educational, we want to teach people something and leave them wanting more. So here we go. So this is actually about my product. So educational can mean educating people about your products, but it can also mean educating them about another point in your content pillars, for example, wine. Hit it.
Pour a bottle of wine into your Partner in Wine. Now, I'm going to meet my friends by the river, and I get sent a lot of wine, so I am pouring this gorgeous Belle Annie by Mirabeau, which is my favourite rosé brand. I'm going to fill my Desert Sand bottle with the rosé. It fits a whole bottle of wine, keeps it cool for up to 24 hours. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm also going to take a few tumblers for them, but for myself, I'm going to take my Cool Club cup, which is also something that is available on our website. Fill it with a bit of ice, frozen lime for garnish, and I'm going to pour myself a G&T for the road. And that's going to keep my gin and tonic nice and cool for my walk down there.
So educating people on your products. Can I just say, actually, this video is so bizarre, because every time I show people how to do this on TikTok, it gets hundreds of thousands of views, and I don't know why, because it's literally just me pouring a bottle of wine into my product. So I don't know whether it's kind of like, oh, it's 4 o'clock, fancy a bit of wine, or whether people are actually interested. I don't know. So in terms of educational, we want to focus on teaching people something new. and educating or showing them something that leaves them wanting more. So in this case, maybe it's wine, or maybe it's my product, and they're going to follow me and later on come back to when they want to buy something for someone for their birthday. If you post educational content, it is a really, really good way, and in fact, possibly one of the only ways of growing your audience quickly. So just bear that in mind. Inspiring. Do I want to play this video? How are we doing for time? Oh dear. Play it anyway.
Particular shop that I want to get stocked in. So I used to work behind Topshop in Oxford Circus. This was my first ever job, and every single day I would walk up to Selfridges and I would walk around. I would always have dreamt of launching a product, and whenever I think about it, I'm like, that is where I want to get it stocked.
It probably won't be this year just because obviously COVID and everything like that, but it will happen in the future.
I've manifested that I will be stocked in Selfridges, and they've just sent me the email to say that they are interested in stocking them.
You all guessed it. Partner and Wine will be available in Selfridges. Woohoo!
So one of the things about the stories that I tend to post on TikTok is there is the very first story that went viral. And just in terms for you guys of looking at your social media and content plans, it's really valuable to have a story that tells the whole story of your business up to that point in time, and regularly updating that story so it does tell the full story. But in the meantime, because let me tell you, it does get boring telling your story over and over again because it takes absolutely hours to put them together. But making sure that to save yourself a bit of time, you tell those stories that kind of happen to you every day, whether that's posting a video on TikTok about something really cool that's happened to you. I don't know, like you got sent a bottle of rosé from your favorite rosé brand, or whatever's relevant to your business. But you don't just have to post a TikTok on it, you can post it on stories or wherever it happens to be. But something that shares that excitement in the moment is a really good way of keeping people on board and kind of building that community and making people feel excited for you as well.
There's one
Oh no.
shop that I
No,
want
to
to
the
get
next
stocked
one.
in.
We don't need to play this one, but entertaining. This is Ryanair. You should watch it, it's very funny. So in terms of entertaining, I tend to post a few different kinds of content. So I've just put down here the content pillars. The first one is wine, the second one is small business related, and then the last one is products and services. Now you'll see here, this is a graphic. It is more to do with, obviously I post that on Instagram. I don't tend to post that many graphics anymore, if I'm honest, but it is quite a good way of getting people involved with things that tend to go on. So this was over Valentine's Day. I don't think we have time for these videos, but if you want to follow me on TikTok, you can find them on there. Oh, okay, display. I really wanted to show you that one of my dad. It was really cute. So how to entertain people and why. Entertainment can mean a variety of different things, by the way. So I think when we think of entertainment, we think of watching a film and being like, whoa, head blown off, but actually that kind of relates back to emotion. So entertaining someone really is making them feel some sort of way, whether that's sad, happy, angry. Can make people feel angry. And then obviously using viral sounds to make your business or topic more relatable. So those go back to the content pillars. If you hear a viral sound, you can often link that back to your products or services. And then obviously telling stories and creating reactive content. I don't think I've got time to show you this either, but is there a way of sharing this afterwards? Yeah, we can share this afterwards and you can go through the videos because that is a really good one. So I think I've actually already covered this. Top 5 tips for storytelling. Obviously telling your story over and over again to kind of get it into people's minds, get it into people's head. Also, when you're posting a video online or posting your story online, you can't just post it once and expect, maybe it flopped in your books. Actually, maybe you just didn't post it at the right time of day or the right people weren't online to be watching it. So keep at it, keep posting it again and again and again. I mean, I've had clients who've been posting away for 5 months and only just seen kind of viral results. So the more you talk about it, the better it is. Obviously using music to aid your story. I did that with the Selfridges video. And if you don't like showing your face, one of my top tips is to use a voiceover. And so this is the last slide, which I'm sure you're probably glad about because I've probably gone over. Sorry. So remember, people like real, not always curated. So I like to call it fun over feed. I think people tend to look at their feed and go, oh, it has to look nice though. My feed looks disgusting. But people like it. So, you know, I'm here for it. If people are still buying, then happy days. So let your followers get to know you as a businesswoman. That would 100% be one of my top tips. It really has helped me get to where I am today in terms of sales, and also stood up on this lovely stage here today. And just remember, being small is cool, so use it as your superpower. Boom.